So let's move on to sales and winning new business, because SMEs live off new business opportunities. And what your businesses have done, and some ideas that you've done that perhaps people could take away today to generate new markets or increase sales. I mean, shall we just change the running order? Nick, do you want to start us with this, as your brand is so strong?
Well, we're trying to get stronger. We've been very successful over the last week. For us, again, there's lots of competitors in our field. Again, it's trying to be different. So we've been busy. We only had a small marketing budget, but we again get the team together. We've got a lot of good brains in our team. The Madeline this year, the brainstorming session, and one of our team head of sales is from Australia. You mentioned they had this big bear thing that goes around and does things. And it's got a very good name. So we looked around here and thought, no, we need to really done the big mascot thing. So we come up with ideas. Eventually we married out to a little thing, Sam the dog. So we had this huge Seven Estates mascot made by a local firm who also did they made the Olympic mascots. And that developed, and then was out in the summer dressed as a chef, and then last week we got a big £2,000 worth of Santa Claus costumes going through the streets of Wimbledon, much to the delight of all the crowds, and all these kids just shouting our brand name and the company name. It was absolutely fantastic. And then Saturday he was out with the mayor and Ballon switching on the Christmas lights, the mayor and our big dog. It was just and then other things which all of our Facebook sites, and then other things we've done. Again, the team got involved. We've got the branded cars. They're not minis, I hasten to add. Environmentally friendly iGos. But the team all got involved. Someone had a chat with us, and on the cars, there's two designs. It's actually got pictures of all the team on the cars, and they weren't forced to, but they all agreed to have it done. So their figures and portraits get driven around everywhere. So, and the feedback on that locally has been phenomenal. So we're hoping to take this forward next year. So the marketing has been quite different from us. And then as soon as we've done the app, we're soon the next project is to launch a sort of internet Sound Estates television channel, particularly aimed at our customers. So that's our next big job.
Adrian, to drive your sales, I mean, it's a completely different market, really.
It is. I'm actually quite jealous. It sounds like great fun. I can imagine dogs and all the rest of it.
We need more volunteers to go inside.
Speaking to the legal fraternity, I'm quite dry. One of the things that we found is that where we execute really well, the lawyers that engage our services will often become a great advocate for us. So one of the questions that we try and get all our people to ask is, if someone enjoyed being instructed and having us run a project, is who else do you know that might have a similar issue, might similarly want to instruct a firm like ours. Lots of people are very good advocates, as I say, and a number of our clients have come as a result of word of mouth, and that's not an easy thing to track, but some people will call us for the first time and say, so and so has told me that you do a great job on this.
And isn't that just such a simple thing that sometimes we all forget to ask?
Yes.
Where as guilty as the next man? That, we do the client service and everything else, but then we forget to ask to spin it, and we just stop at the service. We don't ask for the referral. I think our networks, have got to be a bit more sophisticated in these days of tough times.
I agree. It's a very simple question to ask.
It is. We might be shy.
Yes.
And Paul, I mean, you've done a few things in your business.
Yeah, I mean, so some might perceive our company and some of the things I've said that makes it sound like a kind of quite soft, fluffy, gentle organisation, and we are far from that. We are a ruthless commercial business. Nothing personal against any of our competitors, but it was interesting again to look at the analysis of business growth, maximising sales, because I see it as business warfare, and I will actually look and see what we have available in our marketplace and how much we can maximise, where maybe competitors are weak. And if I feel that, or if we feel that we have reached our ceiling on that area for the moment, then we will look to create new markets. I'm fairly simple in my approach to business. Fortunately, I have some slightly deeper thinking colleagues, but I believe that you need to be relevant, always need to be relevant in what you do, the people you want to come through your door. I also believe the more inventory you have, whether that inventory is, in my case, radio airtime or hotel rooms or whatever it may be, the more you have, the more chance you've got. And we diversified, looked at what we have. We have a lot of fixed costs, so we are cost control in terms of fixed costs is quite tough. But we utilise all our radio studios. We hire them out for commercial use to other radio stations as well. And more recently, we've moved into education and training. So from team building days for bankers, executives who want to do something different, they come and make a radio program, learn some new skills, a bit of communication at the same time. And we've also ended up this summer, we had probably one of the most challenging things I ever did, and we had 10 young offenders in as a government-sponsored scheme through Surrey Youth Justice. And not without its challenges, but good for business and fabulous development for my people.
So you effectively diversified your business from the traditional radio model to look for completely new, innovative income streams.
Yep.
That nobody else is matching.
Correct, and I think so. It's taking stock of the inventory you have. Again, having good people around you. So if you make mistakes, which you do, and I have, you can stop before you go too far down the cul-de-sac. And kind of strong risk management in place. But at the same token, sometimes if you're an entrepreneur, if your business is going to grow, a calculated risk here and there will pay dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, in his presentation started off with Groundhog Day, and I think most people recognise the trades have been sucked in. At Menzies we call it got a minute, where everybody walks in and says, have you got a minute? And suddenly you find it's lunchtime and you haven't actually done it. And you've got to step back and you've got to look at your business and that. I mean, how have you all coped with the growth pain, so to speak? Nick, start us off on what you've done.
When you, like, said earlier, you start, you get at something, you go into it, you expand, and suddenly you've got to do all these other roles, payroll, things like that. You get more people, your accountants and your bankers in, and you soon have to learn to let go. You've got to delegate. And first couple of years for me it was hard to do that. Now I have no problem whatsoever with delegating. But I think one problem with you delegate is also it's one of the things you might be challenged then. Always know that you've got a problem. Just come and chat to me or have a go and we can discuss it and look at doing something like moving it forward. But the trick is to delegate. And a few people in our business have dual roles. So because what's their main day job, they're also the branch manager of the office. So taking that into account, leading on. Because I mean, we're launching a new service soon aimed at lounge like to do it on their own, low cost version, from the full service agent. So we're just launching a new website that's delegated to two of the team in our Balham office. And they're like loving it, going ahead with that.
Yeah,
so it is delegation definitely. Yeah, going back to having a good team.
And empowering them.
Yeah, we'll take things on.
Yeah. And Adrian, I think you're saying, aren't you, you sort of got to the stage where your business was sort of taking up too much. You were getting too internally.
Absolutely, yes, the avoidance of control freakery or delegation, as everyone else calls it. And so we put in place an operations director who executes certain tasks far better than I ever did, and so that was a good move for us. Things to be delegated to him. He's a very detail-oriented guy, and it's all executed. And I can do what I do best. So again, it's a recognition of who does what best within a team, and making sure that they spend the maximum amount of their time doing those things that they inherit in everyone else.
And Paul, I think You went up a mountain to get on a voyage.
Yeah, we do some fairly strange things. So we go mountain walking and tree hugging, as we affectionately call it. But we do some fabulous things, and probably the most valuable thing it does give you time to think about both yourself, the business, and the market, and the world you're in. We do have this chap called Tracker, actually. So there's a nice man. He's a fascinating chap who kind of facilitates for us. But I love being a business leader, and I love leading the business. And I think sometimes that does mean that you have to make decisions which are the right decisions. And if I'm ever kind of wavering or putting things off, I get my little book out, and I've got a couple of favourite sayings. One actually is more to do with parents, is Philip Larkin, which we'll save for another evening. But the one I always say is, if not now, when? And if not me, who? And invariably that will lead me to, I better get on with it then.
And I think you also said to me, you actually sat there and looked back and said, how long have I got and what do I want to achieve?
Yeah.
Which I thought was a very good step back and say, well, there's certain things I want to achieve in my business that are really important. Yeah. And how long have I got to achieve that? What window have I got? And I think a lot of us recognise the got a minute moment where you're being sucked into your business on an operational basis, where actually you need to stand back and deal with the big issues of the day. And when you look back in a year's time and say, I've achieved those 3 big objectives which I set myself at the beginning of the year, that's what mattered. Yeah. And actually, you get to a stage when you don't want to spend all your time doing the nitty-gritty.